So when you have your main screen, you're not going to necessarily be looking at the same screen. Can you just... just admitting some more people. Please make sure you're muted. Thank you. All right, so on this screen, you're not going to be looking at it the same way. This is basically a screen with all rights activated. This is mostly for tech development. Many of you will only be having, say, for example, reports, data management. Your primary, or what everybody should have, will be the reports. As you see there on the left top, if I go into reports and then credit reports, will bring you then to the first screen where you need to punch in all of the details that you see here on the screen, without which a report cannot be extracted. Just admitting some more people. Some people are actually dropping off and then reconnecting. I think we may have some internet issues in town today. So the reason for your inquiry, whatever it is that you're going to be using it for, standard consumer inquiry, you need to have an ID. You can use a passport. Standard is national ID.
Isn't the link in the chat or not? Itu ada or
First name and surname, genders. One of the differences that some of you will already see between Experian and Creditinfo is that the date of birth does not put in automatically. This is due to some data sets rules. So you will need to put in the date of birth manually. And cell phone. There, all your fields are in. Just admitting some more people. Then you go on to search. The next is to confirm that you have the consent to do the inquiry. Click on the block and then say confirm. Your next option will be to pick the kind of report. A lot of you will only have one option available here. It will be the credit report, Creditinfo Report Plus. You select it and then you say generate report. And here is your new Creditinfo report. So the one, we start off with the front end, which is the dashboard. The dashboard report is where you can see the more summary of everything that's going on inside this report. Starting off at the details that we were looking for, then you have the score, the trend, which will indicate, how do we say, a history, how the person has been behaving, and the possibility of defaulting. An up arrow will indicate that the score has been improving, down arrow that it has been decreasing, and the straight line is that it's been staying the same, which gives you an indication of what kind of person, what kind of client you're going to be dealing with. What are the chances of defaulting, like I mentioned.
Master Preez,
Yes.
can you please enlarge your screen? We can't see anything.
How big is your screen? Mine's not that big. How's this? Is this better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. So then your next is just showing you the inquiries. You will first of all also notice that a lot of this information does look the same. It's just been rearranged. The inquiries that have been done in the last 12 months, and a big red cross indicating that there's a lot of them having been done. It's just a warning coming up. And then your subscribers, indicating how many subscribers have been doing inquiries on this particular individual. Payment profile, showing you the months in arrears, or how many contracts are open, how many contracts are closed, any past due amounts. So just a summary there. And then in the old Experian, there was a payment matrix, the graph lines that went up and down. Instead, we have the summary calendar of payments, where the green ticks in this calendar will indicate when payments were received and reported to the Bureau. Below that are the actual payments themselves, or just the amounts that have been paid on those months. Then, if there are any judgments or disputes, I will get to the disputes part in a few moments. Disputes is also a new function. Then we get a summary of the contracts. Closed contracts, so history, you can view. So if you see the eye, if you hover over anything anywhere and you see the eye, it gives you the ability to open that contract and just view it in more detail. Or if it's a contract or a dispute or a judgment or whatever the case may be, if you see an eye, then you can pull up more info on it. And then any public defaults. So here's one of the differences now. In the old report, you had the index. If you remember the black block with the 3 stripes on the report, you had the index where you could click and then you could jump to specific sections of the report. Here we have already the tabs. So the tabs you can use to jump to any specific part of this report that may interest you more than others, or just simply also to pull up more detailed information on that specific topic. So we will just go to subject information. This gives you all of the details, the contactability details. So there you see contacts and residential basic information. Then your scorecard. So here it gives you the score again, the probability of defaulting, risk band. You all recognize this. Red is bad, green is good. So there's your risk band. So the next thing that you can then see are the contracts. So your contracts tab with all of the details of the contracts. Again, if you click on the eye, then you can pull up more information on said contract or detail. Following that, if there would be any judgments, we can open the judgments field. Again, the eye, we can click to pull up more information. Just going to let you have a gander at that for 5 seconds. Judgment details that are available.
No problem.
Is somebody asking a question, or are you not muted? All right.
Hello.
Yes.
Why is that some of us didn't receive their login link?
We will get to that later. We're still sorting that part out.
Okay.
So we will get to that. You don't have to be too concerned. You will get it. You will not be left behind.
But then it's hard for us now to follow.
Sorry, say again.
It is hard for us to follow.
Okay, but you will not be able to follow because you do not have user rights on your Creditinfo on your CBSs yet.
Okay.
The only reason why we did send the links was only so that we can see that you are able to log in. You do not have any rights on it yet. The program is not usable yet. The go live is only on Friday night at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
All right. And as for following, if you are concerned that you might be missing any information, like I mentioned before, there will be a training manual, there will be training videos, and this session is also being recorded.
Okay.
All right, so there's judgments, inquiries, details on the inquiries, who did inquiries on this individual, when they were done, by who. And there's your time bands. Over the last 1 month, 3, 6, and 12, how many inquiries have been done? You can see in the last month, if you see in the last month 35 inquiries were done on an individual, there's a case for some concern. Right, so disputes. I did mention now that I'm going to say something quickly about the disputes. It's a new function. The idea here is that when there is data on, that is incorrect, then you, through the service, have the ability to register a dispute yourself. It gets sent to us, then it gets processed. So instead of having to send in files for updating, loan information, we have to send multiple email channels in order to get any data sorted out. You have the ability straight through your service to log your own dispute on any information that may be incorrect. Then it gets processed by us, and you are able also to follow the details of where the dispute is. And what was the last action taken on that dispute? There will be messages coming through on who's handling it or what's been done to it. And then finally on the report, any public defaults, if there are any. Once you have scrutinized your report, and you maybe wish to send, you want to save probably the file on the computer, so to the top right of your screen, you have the option to export to PDF. So you simply click export to PDF. If this doesn't work now, it's only because this is still the test platform. It won't be an issue in the live platform. This is meant to now create a PDF file that you can save anywhere on your computer. There it goes. Let me just see if I can actually also share. Let me just see if I can share so you can see what the PDF looks like. I'm just going to stop this one. Okay, here we go. You should now be able to see my PDF. Okay, so you will see that the PDF has been, the entire contents of the report, everything that you've seen under the tab, has all been compiled in this one single PDF file. There's your score, your risk bands, all the contracts that are open, closed, any disputes, there's everything. There will be the judgments, there will be the contact information. So everything that we have seen on the report will be on the PDF. You can see that it's also quite a large report. You do not want to print this. It's going to cost you quite a lot in paper. So that being said, if you do want to have a printout, let me just reshare the screen. I think I should actually just share the whole thing. If you do want to create a printable version that you would like, a physical copy, and put it in your file, then next to export to PDF, the little down arrow there, if you click on that, it will give you the option to export dashboard PDF. So what happens, it gives you the dashboard report. which is the summary report. So it does give you all of the basic information. You won't see the details, as you can see, but it is a far more printer-friendly version. So if you do wish to print, then you can use that print to the dashboard PDF. That concludes the basics of pulling a report and then reading of the report. I will take some questions on this now. If there's anyone that has a question at this stage. If there are no questions at this time, make any notes of anything that maybe you'd like to follow up, and you can put it in an email for me.
Hi, Herman.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to ask, when will the manuals be available to us?
I do believe that they've been uploaded. There's going to be a central file location for which the link will be shared. So we're not going to individually mail it out to everybody. We're going to send you the link to that file. That's my understanding. The file itself I have created. It looks like it's been finally approved, and it's probably ready for distribution. And I assume it will the distribution of these files will be made available right after the go live. So that's most likely around about Friday evening, Saturday, give or take. But we'll keep you up to date on that as well. The training video, on the other hand, is something that I'm going to be working over, possibly over the weekend or maybe next week. So when that is completed, those links will also be put on the same site for you to go and find.
All right. Thank you, Herman. You answered my question.
Good. Welcome. I see Glenda can't hear anything. Glenda, just make sure that your volume is up. Oh, that was quoted. Oh, never mind. That was a long time ago. Some messages only coming through now. Okay, at this point in time, the individuals, the people that will not be using this service to register loans, if you'd like, you can actually drop off now. The next step in this session is going to be to go on to the data management. The data management is where it's not only the loan registrations, but also where we will be registering judgments. And hang on. So under the manual editor, when it loads, is where you can add contracts, judgments, and public defaults. If you'd like, we can also, before we go, if you're going to be adding disputes on data as well, we can cover that section. If there's any of this that you're not going to be using in your capacity, then you are welcome to drop off at this time.
Good morning.
Oh. Sorry about that.
Good morning. I think for the OMFEN team that are on the call, I think this would be our slot to jump off.
Okay.
I think the rest of the presentation will not be relevant to us.
Yes, that's perfectly fine. That's not relevant, so it's not going to. I don't think it's going to benefit you. If that then thank you for joining this. And if you do have any follow-up queries, questions, then please do feel free to get in touch with us.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
On Fin sales team, we can jump off.
Thank you. Very good. The remaining 70, I believe, then will stick around for the data management section, the manual editor. We are going to be touching now on the creation of contracts. This has also been added in the manual. I've very specifically in the manual explained about the fields that need to be filled in, just to keep it simple. So step number one, if you look at your left-hand menu, that you want to go to data management and then manual editor. Once you're in your manual editor, you can click where it says new and then on contract. I lost my connection there for a second. We're back. Very good. Now, for those that were in the live training sessions, you will recall that I made it extremely clear your first step and every step that you take when you are creating or editing contracts or any action taken is the snapshot date. This date is extremely important to be updated with every action that you take. This is the action date. They call it the snapshot date. You need to make this your first step always. So to create a new snapshot, you simply click on plus for the new snapshot, select the date on which the action is happening or happened, and then create snapshot. Now you can go into the rest of the fields. You can now, like I said, it is in the manual, but you can take notes of the fields that you should be filling in. Your first is the contract code. So this is your loan contract number. Confirm that code again. Subscriber is not something that you have to be concerned about. This is something that will be you only. Source, there's only one, so default source. What is the phase of the contract? It is open, since it's a new contract. The status of the contract, you will be choosing contract is active and open. Funds were released to main data. Your next is a type of contract. So for the, especially for the micro lenders, you will have most likely the two options being installment or non-installment. Non-installment simply means it's a 1 month, where installment will be more than 1 month. People still coming in? Let's go with non-installment, so we make this a 1-month contract. Your subtype, what is it for? What kind of contract is it? So we'll go and say this is a 1-month loan. The purpose of financing is something that Bon wanted us to put in. You have to say what the money is being taken for. So depending on the needs of your client, you just pick whatever reason for behind this transaction, you pick that from your list. Let's go with the cash flow, other emergency, method of payment. We'll just choose other there. Total amount, this is the amount that is being issued. And then the installment amount, which obviously includes your costs and interest. Current balance. If there has been previous transactions, then the current balance will be that, including this you are currently adding up. So if there's been a loan granted earlier in the day or earlier in the month, of which the installment or total repayment will be 1,300, then this one will also be added on top. So the current balance indicating the total amount owed to your company at that stage. At this stage. So say that this is the only loan that is open. Your payment period does. So your start date is when the loan began. This is October 10. And that is everything that you are required. This is that form that you use to update or okay. Seems that the internet is not being friendly with me this morning. Okay, so once all the necessary fields are in, you go to the next step. Now you have to add the individual. So you now have to go and create the person. So under subjects and roles, you click on add individual. Customer code being the client number. So in our case, let's just say CI 50, title, surname, forename or initial, gender. So now you have to add the employer. What is the monthly income? What is the occupation? And income frequency. You do need to add a cell phone, then your address. Now, currently the address, as you can see here, is jumbled up. 143. It will be fixed. They say in the live version. Since this is still the test bed, it just looks a little funny. Postal code. Yes, Namibia now has postal codes and address line 2. Address status. Is it a rented, owned property? And finally, you do need to add the ID number. Otherwise, this will not go through. So those are the fields that you need. You can see that you do not need all the fields. The red ones are important, and the national ID one is also important. That one must be added. Once your individual is done, you can say next step. See what I missed? Date of birth. There we go. So the role of the customer. Is it a single person, which would be main dater, main applicant, or is it a co-dater, co-applicant? Meaning, is it a team, the husband, wife, any kind of partnership? Most cases, it will just be single individuals. So main dater, main applicant. That is for single individuals. If it would have been a team, then you would have been able to add another role, okay? Otherwise, if you're happy with this, we can say create individual. And then now your contract has been set up, your individual has been set up, and we can say create contract. If everything has been filled in correctly, we will get contract successfully created. If you may have missed a field or typed something incorrectly, whatever the case may be, you will get an error message or warnings or errors. And that means you will have to return to the form, and then you will have to go and check what it is that you've missed. At this stage, it's necessary for me to inform you, and I know this is going to rub some of you the wrong way, is that the individuals have to be created every time. Unfortunately, at this stage, there's no way to select a previously created individual. Makalani, can you just, which part were you referring to? All right, going on. So this was the creation of a contract. The next or final or next logical step would obviously be the closing or updating of a contract. So as I mentioned a few seconds ago, that the same form that you use to create a contract, you're also going to be using to update or close a contract. With one small difference. Instead of clicking on new, you simply go where data management and manual editor, and then you go and find the contract. You go and search for the one that you are busy working on or wish to work on. Let's say find by ID. That is always the easiest. Okay, I've searched. This is my list of things that I was looking for. As you can see, that I've got, when I did the search on that ID, there are several things that have been performed on this specific individual. There are 10 contracts. There is one public default that has been created on this person, and there are actually 2 judgments out. Here you can edit the judgments, edit the defaults, or edit the contracts. In our case, we wish to edit a contract. This is the one that we just made. Let's use the same one we just made. From the list, you find it, and then you click on the pencil or pen if you wish to close or edit. And as you can see now, it brings up the contract again. Now we're just going to be making some changes on the field, on the contract to reflect the updates. We are going to close this contract. So in order for us to do that, there are, I think, 4 fields that you need to update. The first one is the snapshot. So that makes 5. You will always create a new snapshot. Remember the snapshot. In your offices, print it big, paste it somewhere so that you always look straight into it every time you get into the office. Choose the date on which the action is happening, the action date. Then you create a new snapshot. Now, what is the phase of contract? So we're closing it, so it will be closed. What is the status of the contract? Account closed. There are several other options. They can be cancelled, cooling off, early settlement, whatever it is that has happened. We are just going to close this, keep it simple. Then nothing changes on the amounts. It's a 1-month loan that is being closed. Now, what the other field is the date of last payment. On what date did we receive the payment? And then the account closure date. Just those. That has also been very specifically put in the manual that way so that you cannot get confused. If you have now updated number 1 snapshot and phase of contract, contract status, date of payment, account closure date. Once you have those, you can say save, and if everything is incorrectly, we will get a notification saying that the contract has been successfully updated. And there your contract has now been closed. So in the same breath, if the contract was a multi-month contract, see if we can find one that's still open. I think all of these are closed. As a judgment. Allow me then to quickly create another one. And perhaps you can just pick up on something that you may have missed. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to create an installment contract. Just to show you the difference. So you will pick installment, then installment account. Purpose of financing is whatever it may be. Just pick other for the method of payment. So now the total amount which has been granted, we'll just stick with the $1,000. What is the installment amount? Let's say for argument's sake, it is a 2-month loan. So we will say 650. Current balance. And payment periodicity. And that is, and then of course the start date. Let's see if I have everything in the right way. Then, like I said, unfortunately, we do have to run through the individual again. date of birth. Finally, ID. Role, main data, create individual, create contract. Let's see. I don't know what this is at. Hmm. Let's pick personal loan and see if that makes a difference.
Be mindful.
Oh,
Okay, good. Payment period. Now, to do what they say.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay, there we go. That's my mistake.
okay.
Do you want a link?
Yeah, so I can maybe help. Or you want me here?
No, it does. Whichever way is easiest for you.
Okay.
Apologies, guys. I'm just getting one of my people in here just in case there's any other technical issues, so we can have some assistance there. He's shown me my mistake. Obviously, a term loan needs to have a period assigned to it, so that was where I had my problem. So we did say that it was an installment, and the repayment period obviously has to be in, otherwise it's not going to go through. So that should now be cleared up. Okay, there we go. Contract has been successfully created. Okay, so to get back to updating of a contract, the first one that I showed you was just simply closing a 1 month loan. The second thing is obviously if there's a 2 month loan, then you will need to okay, then you obviously need to be able to update said contract instead of just closing it. Okay, let's see. So the past due days, just a note on the past due days. If the contract has lapsed, if the person has missed their payment, you use the same form to add the details of what was overdue. So like if it was, for example, now the installment was overdue, or then you would have said that the past due amount currently is the amount that they lapsed with, and then how many days has the person now been overdue with. So you can update continuously. You can actually add here, now it's been 5 days, now it's been 6 days, now it's been 7 days. So you can update that. Otherwise, if that's not going to be the case, you are going to just maybe update the installment. Let's say date of last payment. The account closure date will not be put in, simply because it's not closed. Actually, it is only being updated. So the current balance, then you will be subtracting the amount which has been paid and then adding it in. So for what is the remaining? So what is the remaining after the installment has been paid? And that will be all that you require. You can just say then save. And in so doing, you have updated the contract to reflect that that installment has then now been paid. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is then from start to finish your basics of the system. There's a lot of you that are going to be using this and only this. You're going to be pulling your reports, and you're going to be creating your contracts, and you're going to be updating or closing the contracts. So again, with all of this in mind, the training manual that will be made available to you is going to contain everything that you need from step to finish. So there will be follow-ups available. There's going to be also exactly what I've done here today. I'm going to be creating a training video that you can also then use and continuously go back to. There's not going to be any charges of accessing the data or this information. I'm just going to mention something here that I also said to the people in the meetings. There's going to be an option. If some of the older guys recall that there was an option for tracing back in the old systems. So this option is returning. I don't want to say about it too much, but I'm just mentioning it that it's going to be coming up. So under monitoring, you're going to be having the ability to add any persons on tracing, so that if you need to track a specific person's movements, then instead of it being free like it was in the past, there will be a cost involved for us to spend the resources in tracing any of your clients. Any of these costs and everything will be communicated to you in good time. I'm going to touch on the dispute. As I mentioned earlier, you have the ability to load your own disputes if there is any issues on any of the data. So what you can do is you can use your own system to log a dispute. So instead of having to go through the entire email line, that also does take a long time. You just log it yourself, and it gets to our technical people, which will then which will then begin processing it, and any updates that they do will be communicated back to your account. To log a dispute is the same, very basic, same method as what you would log or register a new loan. Who are you doing it on? It usually will be individual. It will be on this national ID. Add the ID number of the person that you wish to create a dispute on. Pick the contract. What is the reason for your dispute? Would be, for example, inaccurate data. Reference ID. Any comment? Wrong data. If you'd like to upload attachments, for example, if you have a screenshot of the report, that's one example, just indicating where it displays the data, and you can just mention what is wrong with the data. You simply say submit if everything is in place, and there is your history. So it is now issued to us, and you will be getting updates as they come through. That's right, snapshot. NEE financials, yes. It is being recorded. I wonder if the recording is still running because of my internet issues. No, it's still running. So there will be a recording. Anybody that wishes to have the recording can just let me know, and I can send you that link. But as I mentioned there as well, that there will be in short order, there will be a training video that I am going to be creating shortly, or within reasonable time. And the training manuals will also be available. I think if I can have one of my colleagues input just exactly when that training manual will be available, I think it's going to be, the links will be shared with you right after the go live. Can anybody comment on that? Okay, never mind. I'll get you that information. Everything is going to be shared with you. You don't have to worry about not being able to use the system or whatever the case. So we have a full support team. So there's definitely going to be us, the training manuals, the recordings. So you won't be left in the dark. I'm getting a question to show an example of a public default. See if I can find one in here. Oh, this is a okay, dashboard report. I'm going to find it in here. Okay, so the best that I can do at this stage, there's a quick example of a public default. The reason, say, default loaded because unpaid accounts. So in this case, the public default here that has been logged indicating that this person has absconded, meaning that they've just disappeared, left loans unpaid. The default, the amount that was defaulted with is 1,300. So that will be how it will be displayed on the PDF report. In any case, if you need to let me just log a default, you can do so under data management and the manual editor and new public default. Okay, so here you just add the details, snapshot as it is necessary. Yes, hello.
You were a bit. I didn't get what you did on the at first.
On the
No.
what? Where?
On starting like from the public default there.
Oh, okay. Shall I start the public default procedure from the beginning?
Yes, you were
Okay.
fast.
Okay, so let's begin. It's data management and manual editor. Now, just remember that manual editor is where you, apart from the disputes, manual editor is where you create pretty much everything else and also edit anything. Okay, so once you're in manual editor, where it says new, where you usually would go to create a contract, is where you go and pick then, if you need to add a default, then you go and just pick the public default. This is the bad news button. I'd like to call it the bad news button because obviously this is going to be logged. Obviously, when it's been processed, that's going to be logged onto the person's report for the whole world to see that this person has somehow offended you. Okay, so you now just fill in the fields that are required. Give it a code. Create the snapshot, very important. Confirm that code. Subscriber is you again. The source will be whatever is available there. Default status will be open. You're creating a new one. What is the amount that the person has basically disappeared with? What is the date of the default? Transaction date. When did it occur? It is an individual. And now you add the details of the person. And of course, date of birth, as per usual. And occupation. Okay, you should probably add the ID. That's always a good idea. Don't believe that it will make you go through without an ID. So you can add the address. I think it's not forcing you to, but it will most likely say yes, please. Mm-hmm. You don't need a PO box. You don't need a work address. You do need contact. And once you have all the fields in, and I say create defaults. Oh, I've already created this one. So second default. Let's see what my error says. Address line 4 must not be empty. So you need to add that all of the address information. Okay, create. That's just telling me that it's only one letter. It's only a warning. It's not going to prevent me. Hey, and there we go. Our public default has now been loaded. We can go and edit it if necessary, or just look at the history of it, of all updates on it. So basically what happens now is it's going to get processed, and then that will be loaded onto, if it's valid, you understand. If it's valid, then it will be loaded onto the report. So hereby doing, you can then indicate if there are any of your clients that have disappeared. So you can use the manual editor and public defaults to load the negative information, then that will reflect on the person's record. In the same way, if a person has cleared this public default, then you can just use the same manual editor to come and remove it as well. The same way that we did closing of a contract, you will do it the same way. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I was just informed that I am now able to actually attach the training manual for you. I'm doing that, just adding it in the chat. You can just download it from here. If you can't, I will be able to send it to you. What I don't have in the training manual, but I can send it in an updated version at a later stage. There will be some changes. There will be some additions. The disputes and the public defaults and things I can add to the manual, even though I don't know, there is an extended manual which is just far more technical that can also be shared later on. Let me just see if I can attach this file. Just give me a moment. I'm going to actually even now stop with the sharing. The presentation is done. Okay, I'll be with you in a moment. Let me just quickly see if I can attach this. I'm afraid it doesn't look like I can attach a file, probably not in a group meeting like this. I'm going to have to send it to you. using the same addresses that I used for these invitations. I'm going to be sending you guys the training manual as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much concludes everything that I had to show you on the system now. Like I said, there will be a manual, there will be a video. Is there any questions that anybody would like to field at this moment? Are there any more questions? Unfortunately, at this stage, sorry, I will be with you in a moment. Unfortunately, adding the client details every time is, unfortunately, that has to be done. We are hoping in the future to be able to have the ability to just pick it from a drop list. Okay, any more questions?
Mr. Hermanos?
Yes.
Yes. I did successfully logged in, but then on the navigation, I cannot see anything. It's empty.
That's right. That's the way it's supposed to be. We did not provide any user rights to anybody at this stage. It's simply because the go live is only Friday night. We just wanted to make sure that everybody has the ability to log in. User rights will be given from 6 o'clock on Friday. So when you get into your offices on Saturday morning, you should have the rights necessary to continue.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Herman,
Yes.
good day.
Yes. Good day.
I just joined recently and I wanted to ask if the monthly fees for the new system will be changing.
I'm sorry, you're very soft.
Sorry?
You're very soft. I cannot hear you.
Okay, I joined recently. I just wanted to find out if the monthly fee for the new system.
Are there monthly fees? Would you mind sending me a message or a mail? I'm having a lot of difficulty hearing you, please.
All right.
Sorry.
There you go.
Ida?
Okay, ladies and gents, if there are no other questions, I'm going to close. We can close this meeting. I will then, right after this, like I said, use the same addresses that I used for the invites. Then I will be sending out the training manuals. And then on that, if you can just reply to me if there are going to be any queries, questions, concerns, and I will do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for joining. And just a quick reminder again that you're going to be online with this system by Saturday morning, unless, of course, for some reason you work on Friday nights. I seriously doubt any of you do, but if you do, then Friday night you will be online, but Saturday morning it is. So with that, again, thank you. And I hope you guys have a lovely day. And then I will hear from anybody that has any concerns. Just respond to me after I've sent you the training manual.
Thank you, Herman. Also with the manual, please, also the video that you recorded today.
That
Thank
will
you.
be, yeah, I will send you the link as well along with that. That's fine, no problem.
Thanks, Herman. All right.
Okay,
Bye.
you're welcome. Eric is asking, how do you log in? Did you receive a link? Did you receive a login link?
No, we didn't.
Okay, what's your company name?
T-Tap Financial Solution.
I didn't get that.
T-Tap.
TTAP. All right.
Yes.
Make a note.
T-Tap Financial Solution.
Tell me, did you check, did anybody that didn't get it, did you maybe check your junk folder? Your junk or your spam if you're in Gmail?
Yes, I did.
And it's not in there?
No.
Okay. I'll just make a note of that. Is there anybody else that did not get the link?
Yes, sir. Tell them from the Puniqua Finance. We also didn't receive the link, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
also as from Atmosphere Financial Services.
Okay, very good. Now, anybody, okay, that's this. So if you did not get the link and it's not in your spam and it's not in your junk, I think if you haven't responded on my original mail regarding the link yet, then please do so. That's going to be a far better way for me to keep track of who still needs to get the link. So that will be best. If you haven't responded to the original mail regarding that, then you just send me a mail or just respond on that mail, please, and just let me know that you still need the link.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Just Herman.
Hello.
Hello. No, I just want to request colleagues when asking for the link, maybe they must not reply all because we are getting all the emails.
Oh yes.
So
Please. Yes, I don't even know why that has happened because it was a BCC mail, which wasn't supposed to even happen. You're not supposed to reply to all. But, ladies and gentlemen, when you do reply, do not reply to all. Okay, I'm just quickly noting the few that have mentioned the link. And we will be following that up today. All right, so that will be it then. I've got the couple ones that have typed their company names. Anybody that has not and still not received the link, please do send me that email. And then, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you. I will now conclude this meeting and wish you a lovely day. and just look out for my mail with the link and the training manual. Thank you and goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.